Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week what we're talking about is a controversial subject among guitar players. Something that I can only give you my 2 cents about, and something that I've done. And what that is, of course, if you saw the title of the video, is Chibsons. Okay, Chibson guitars. Here's one right here. This is the Ace Frehley. Okay, Blue Sparkle, and give you a good view of it here. Okay, this is the first and only Chibson I've ever bought. The reason I bought it, let's kind of talk about that, and then we'll talk about the guitar itself. If any of you know who Ace Frehley is, which I'm sure you do, Gibson made Ace Frehley one or maybe even two of these prototypes. Okay, and while Ace Frehley is with Gibson, and he's has his signature model that you can purchase, but it's the Sunburst version, not this. All right. They made prototypes for him, and this was one of the prototypes that they made for him that he requested. And I've seen him, playing this in videos, but it is not a guitar that is available to the public. Okay, it's only available to Ace Frehley. So the custom shop won't even build you this, so they can't. Now, when I first saw Ace Frehley playing one of these, I absolutely fell in love with it. I love guitars like this. Okay, I absolutely adore guitars like this. I think it's just artwork. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and metal flake finishes on things were just part of life, especially in the 70s. And like I said, I absolutely love guitars like this. As you can see by the Jimmy Castor back there. So, why did I purchase this? Well, I saw a lot of videos on Chibsons. Okay, I've been seeing a lot of hype about them, the quality getting better, and people going, well, with what Gibson is charging for guitars today, this is the only way I'll ever get one, or one that looks like one. Fair enough. It's the reason. That's really what it boils down to for me, as the reason why I bought this one. Is because I wanted to see what the quality was like. I was curious. I don't necessarily condone buying stuff like this. Okay, these are copies. All right, they're not exact copies. They are more like tributes. Okay, than anything else. It does have the Gibson logo on it, as you can see. Okay, it does have the Gibson logo on it. It does have the Ace Frehley face on it. All right, there's a lot of things about this guitar that are actually pretty cool. But do I feel like Gibson is being ripped off? It's a touchy subject for me, because no, I don't feel like they're being ripped off. I feel like they're ripping their employees off a lot for the money that they make on their guitars. They need to pay them more. Perhaps they would get better quality control coming out, because you get really beautiful, gorgeous guitars from Gibson, and then at the same time you'll get one that is junk. And I've seen it happen many times. The last Gibson that I bought, I will tell you straight out, was a Gibson SG Modern in Blueberry. burst, and it was actually blueberry fade, and it was gorgeous, and it was perfect. I mean, there was absolutely no flaws whatsoever on that guitar. It was QC'd really, really well. Okay, but I get Gibsons in my shop for setups and fretwork and all kinds of things that are brand new out of the box that I can't believe the price that was paid for the quality of a guitar that they got. And that's a serious problem. That's a problem that Gibson needs to address. Okay, they definitely need to address that problem. But here again, pay your workers a little better. That probably won't happen. Now, the reasons I bought this guitar is because I'm a working man. Okay, I don't make a ton of money. I really don't, and I make an average living, and I have a full-time job. I work on a military base, and I don't make a ton of money. Like I said, I do this kind of stuff. I don't get paid by YouTube, at least not yet. Working there, trying to get there, but because I would love to do this as a full-time job. But I'm not there yet. So I do, guitar work. That's why I started the channel in the first place. And never in my lifetime, even if Gibson came out with this as a public possibility, as something that you could purchase from Gibson, never in my lifetime could I afford it. Okay, there's no way I could afford it. If they came out with this, it would be an extremely limited edition, I'm sure, and probably at least 10 grand or more. That's just realistic. That's what Gibson does. Okay, so if they do come out with this, which great, I'd love to see them do it. I would end up having to purchase the Epiphone version, which would still probably be an inspired by Gibson limited edition and at least 2 grand in itself. And that would probably be, even then, I don't like spending that kind of money on guitars. I really don't. Why? So I purchased this. Okay, I was curious to see what the quality of Chibson's is like. I was curious to see what's coming out of China these days as far as tribute guitars, and I fell in love with the thing as soon as I saw the pictures of it, and I saw that I could buy it for literally $289 on eBay. And purchasing it from eBay, at least my sale was somewhat protected. I decided, why not? Let's give it a shot. Okay, I don't necessarily condone it. Okay, I really don't, but I said I want to try it. I'm gonna talk about it on my YouTube channel and see where it goes from there. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about the guitar itself. Okay. What you're looking at here is a mahogany body, and I did check. I took the pickups off. It is definitely a mahogany body, and it is an all mahogany body. There's no maple cap on this. Triple humbuckers, Alnico 5 magnets, and what it came with was these pickup guards right here. This one, okay, 3 of those. I replaced them with the ones that should be there so that you have the step, okay, like that. So I replaced them with those. I took the bridge pieces off, and the bridge pieces, the bridge and the tail piece are both Epiphone. Not surprising. This guitar is probably built in the exact same factory, or at least they source parts from the same places. And the Epiphone is partly scratched out. The pots are full size. Was shocked at that, and they feel nice. They're smooth and clean. Boy, I'll tell you what, real nice. The knobs are exactly pretty much what Gibson has on this one. The switch itself is a nice switch. It's not real stiff and sticky. Okay, it's nice smooth transition. So no complaints there. Stainless steel frets, ebony fretboard, supposedly Grover tuners. Okay, supposedly. Are they? Probably not. I wouldn't think so. And binding all the way around, front and back, all the way around the headstock. It of course has the Ace face on the headstock. You can see there. Okay, the Ace face, and it has the mirror Ace truss rod cover. Also on the back, you'll see the Gibson Custom Shop. Okay, mirrored cover there, and the signature Ace mirrored cavity cover. Okay, right there. So it has those things. It has a lot of the Gibson-esque things that this guitar is supposed to have. Are they perfect? Oh no. Is it an exact duplicate? Definitely not. They can't do an exact duplicate. They'd get in serious trouble through customs if they did an exact duplicate. This has to be different. Okay, it has to be. That's what Chibsons are about. They have to do one thing, something that is slightly off, that is different than the real one. And there are many things that are different than the real one. Okay. First of all, the pickups. Some of the pictures that I've seen don't have the sparkly pickups like this. Okay. Some do, some don't. It just depends. I don't know how many prototypes were made. I think 2. The duplication of the mirrors, okay, that stuff, definitely not exact. Close, but not exact. The big thing, look at the face and see how off-centered it is. All right, Ace's is perfectly symmetrical. It's perfectly centered, but you can see this one is definitely off-centered, and every one I've seen is that way. Okay, or something else is different. Now, does it have the fret nibs like Gibson? Gibson, and this would be a for sure a custom. No, it definitely does not have those. It does not have the fret nibs. What it does have is stainless steel ball end frets. Okay, so the neck feels incredible. The neck feels amazing. The profile itself, it's definitely, it's not a 50s neck. It's more like a 60s Les Paul neck. Thinner, definitely thinner. More like a modern C, I would say. The fretboard is ebony. It is definitely ebony. And it is done fairly well. It's okay. The frets were not level. I had to level them out. I had to do a lot of things to this guitar. I had to level the frets, only 2, so that wasn't bad. I had to level 2 frets out, and then they were fine. And let me tell you, leveling stainless steel frets is a lot of fun, because they're super hard. The inlays are probably, they look like they could be mother of pearl. They say they're mother of pearl, but I think they're pearloid. But they do reflect really well. I mean, they do have a lot of reflection in there, but there's no color to them. So I'm going with pearloid over mother of pearl. They're probably just pearloid inlays, but they're done well. They're done very well. The Ace signature is done well. It's not exact, but it's close. And like I said, they have to do things like that. They can't make them exactly the same. It had a plastic nut. Okay, I have since replaced it with a Tusk XL nut, and because that plastic nut that was in there was cut too low, and I could not get this guitar not to buzz. All right, there was no way to set the action. I did a total setup on this guitar. Everything from, replacing the nut, filing the frets, adjusting the bridge, intonating, truss rod adjustment, you name it. I did everything on this guitar to make it a playable guitar. But that's nothing I wouldn't do to any guitar. Truthfully, I would give it a complete setup because I'd set it up the way I like it, which is how I have it now, and it plays really well. Let's talk about the tuners. These are supposedly Grovers. Okay, they feel like they could be Grovers. When I look at them, they don't look as pronounced as Grovers. So I'm going to say that they're copies because the Grover part is not. When you get Grover tuners, that part is perfect. It's nice. You can read it real well. These ones are okay. I'll give you close-ups, but these ones are okay. But I'll say this for them. They're smooth, they're tight, they stay in tune. Do you need more than that? I say no. They're smooth, they're tight, they stay in tune. I don't have to replace them. They work. They work very, very well. Fit and finish. Now that is where this thing probably falls really short of Gibson's custom shop. Okay, is fit and finish. There's a lot wrong with this. The finish itself, if you look across it, okay, there are areas, especially on the sides and around the neck joint right here, it's just ripply, okay? It's very ripply. There's a lot of orange peel right here that they didn't sand out. There's a chunk right here that didn't get sanded out that you can feel. And I tried, it's definitely under the finish. They sprayed over something. I don't know what it is, piece of dirt, dust, something, but they sprayed over it. Now it's a big lump right in there. And basically, like I said, all over the guitar, and I'll try to get shots of this for you. You can see the ripples in the finish. One of the reasons for that, okay, when they do these factory poly finishes like this, is especially with this kind of a metal flake, this kind of a flake has a lot of texture to it. All right, when you lay it down, there's a lot of texture there because there's a lot of flake in this, and it's big. It's not small flake. Okay, it's big flake. And so they've got to put this poly on heavy to cover it up. And these, like I keep talking about these ripply areas, okay, where you can see the flake texture. It's real bad here. Okay, up in here, same thing. All right, on both sides, you can feel it. All right, not so prominent here, but here it's pretty bad. If I run my finger along up and through here, up at the top of the headstock, it's terrible. All right, absolutely terrible. There's a piece of something right there. On this side, at the top, again, the same thing. On the back itself, the back looks like it was cut well, except you got, again, around this edge, right here, you got that ripply orange peel that they just didn't even bother to sand out. Okay, they just didn't bother to sand it out. All right, the back looks cut pretty well. The front itself, Um, it's cut okay, as far as the paint. When I say cut, I mean that they, removed the orange peel, uh, wet sanding, color sanding, that kind of thing. They removed it okay. You can still see texture. You definitely can see it between the pickups. Um, and around here in this area, there's a little bit. All right. And if you look across the guitar, this is where you really see it. There's an area right here. You can feel it. Okay, you can see it. The carve on the top is nice. It's a nice carve. It's not as prominent as Gibson's are. These are going to be a lot flatter than a regular Les Paul. You can definitely see the texture, like I said, between the pickups there. And on the back, if I look across like this, yeah, there's a couple spots right here. You can see in the paint. Another one up here. Definitely across the bottom of here, for sure. Across the heel. But it's cut okay. On the sides, there's a couple spots. Not too many, but it's wavy. Especially down here. It's definitely wavy. Right here, you can feel it. Lots of ripples. Okay, lots of ripples. And that's because they had to put this thing on so heavy. They had to put this stuff on. The only difference is Gibson would have at least bothered to sand that out. They would have the same issues, okay, making this guitar. They'd have the same exact problems. They would do a nitro finish. It would be done in layers, and it would have to be heavy to bury this flake. It would have to be very, very thick to bury the flake. There's another imperfection right there. The binding itself is nice. It's a triple binding. I don't see any issues with the binding at all. It's nice, it's clean. The transition, there's a little lip there. You can feel it. You can feel it kind of in spots. Down here, I can feel a little lip there where they didn't sand it quite smooth. You can feel a little bit, not too bad. Some spots are perfectly smooth the way it should be. Others are not. I felt Gibsons that have the same problem. There's another spot there on the back. The electronics are decent. Full-size pots. There's no name brand to them, but they're full-size pots. The wiring is decent wiring. It's not bad. And, this has, of course, on the back, it says Made in USA, and it does have an actual Gibson serial number, though not the one that would be on this guitar. Because if this were the real deal, there's only one or two. My overall thoughts on the quality for $289, it's pretty much what I expected. Is it the greatest? No. No. Can you get better quality guitars from Korea and even from China and from Indonesia, places like that, for the same money? Absolutely. Okay. Right there, the Pink Rock guitar that came out of China. All right, that out of the box was better than this, for sure. All right, that was $99 when I bought it. Now I think it's $89. Okay, and the quality of that was definitely, the fit and finish was better. The fret leveling was perfect. The frets are beautiful. They're not like, amazing, but they're for $99. They're fantastic. And I had to do nothing to that guitar out of the box other than tune it. All right, I had to tune it and play it. And if I had to do anything to it at all, I'd replace the nut, and that's about it, because it's just a plastic nut, but it's cut well, so I got no complaints about it, and it stays perfectly in tune, beautifully in tune. So, and that was 89 bucks. So, like I said, can you get better quality for less money? Absolutely. You absolutely can. Are you taking a gamble? Absolutely. I guarantee you not every one out of the box is going to be as good as that one was. All right. And my videos are not sponsored. All right. I bought that guitar, and without them knowing I bought that guitar, and did my review as I always do. So, rock with problems? Absolutely. Worth it? Definitely. I thought it was. I'm a huge Kiss fan. That's why I bought it, because I'm an enormous Kiss fan. I like the guitar. I had to do a lot of work to it. If you're not a person who knows how to do complete setups, knows how to do fret leveling, who knows how to do bridge adjustments, truss rod adjustments, replace nuts, replace tuners, which I didn't have to replace these, but and intonate the bridge, and intonate the strings. It's not worth it. All right, because you may get a guitar, you may get one that's perfect out of the box, plays beautifully, and you're totally happy. Okay, but it's likely you won't. It's likely you won't. You'll have to do work to this, which means you'll have to, if you don't know how to do that, you're going to have to take it to somebody like me and say, can you make this a playable guitar? Which I can totally do, but it's going to cost you money. So, that adds to the cost of the guitar. For all the work that I did on this, you're talking about easily another $150, okay, plus the cost of the nut. All right, guys. So, you do with that what you will. Here it is. Again, the Chibson Ace Frehley Blue Sparkle. All right. It's a beautiful guitar. Aesthetically. And it, like I said, after doing a lot of work to it, it now plays great. It's got great action, and, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But it did require a ton of work. So take that as you will. Anyways, guys, make sure if you like videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And we will see you next time at Guitar Yourself.